Yes, sir.
Sir, is period is equals to 3.56.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
right.
3.56.
Yes, that is right answer. Go to D naught. Find D naught. What is U max? UN max. U or UN max. What is U? What is it?
Sir, U max
1.
is 1.154.
No, it is 1. Because
No,
for
sir.
theta is 0 to 30 degrees, it is 1. Value is 1. Between 30 degrees to 90 degrees, it will be less than 1.
Okay, okay, yes, sir.
So D naught is 3 point.
1.76. Sorry.
Yeah, what is the value?
Sir, P radiation is 3.
56.
Yes, sir. And
D naught is 3.527 or
yes, sir.
5.47 dB. That is using the exact formula. That is using
Yes.
the exact formula.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Find part B, that is using cross formula. How will you find cross formula? You have to find theta 1r and theta 2r using cross formula. You have to find theta 1r and theta 2r. This pattern is independent of phi. This pattern is independent of phi. So theta 1r is equal to theta 2r because pattern is independent, rotational symmetric. So theta 1r in one orthogonal one plane and theta 2r in another plane. Both are perpendicular to each other and both are in the vertical plane. Okay, theta 1r and theta 2r you find in two mutually perpendicular planes. Both are equal. Pattern is rotationally symmetric. That is independent of phi. So you take theta 1r and theta 2r in two orthogonal planes, both in the vertical plane, like I showed in this thing, PPT. So what is theta 1r and theta 2r? How much it is? So how will you get that?
Sir, cos theta by 0.866 is equals to 0.5.
Yes. So theta you get it as 64.34 degrees. Eta. Okay. If you substitute cos theta by 0.866 is equal to 0.5, you get theta 64.34 degrees. Half power beam width is twice that value, 2 into 64.34, because at 0, theta is equal to 0, it is maximum. So half power beam width is 2 into 64.34 is equal to 128.68 degrees is equal to 2.246 radians.
Sir,
Yeah.
so once can you repeat the question if you don't mind?
You joined late, I think, Okay,
No, sir.
Yes. The normalized radiation intensity of an antenna is given by, okay, u of theta is equal to 1 for 0 less than or equal to theta is less than or equal to 30 degrees. Is it fast now?
Sir, can you repeat one more time? You told it a bit fast. I couldn't follow.
The normalized radiation intensity of an antenna is given by, the normalized radiation intensity of an antenna is given by u of theta is equal to 1 for 0 less than or equal to theta is less than or equal to 30 degrees.
Yes, sir.
Cos theta by 0.866. Cos theta by 0.866 for 30 degrees less than or equal to theta is less than or equal to 90 degrees. And is 0 elsewhere.
Yes, sir.
Given that u is independent of phi. U is independent of phi. Find part A, exact directivity. Part B, find A, part A, exact directivity. Part B, using cross formula. Using cross formula. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So half power beam width is 2.246 radians. All of you are getting that?
Excuse me, sir. Sir.
Yeah.
Sir,
Yeah.
could you please explain why are we taking cos theta by 0.866 to find half power beam width?
See, because we want the half power point. So maximum value is 1. Maximum value is 1. So half power point should be 0.5.
Okay, sir.
Maximum value is 1. Half power point should be 0.5. Okay. So HPBW is 2.246 radians. All of you are getting that? All of you are getting that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, D naught using cross formula is 4 pi by theta 1 r and theta 2 r is equal to 4 pi by 2.246 whole square is equal to 3.964 dB. You know how to get it in dB. 10 log of D naught is D naught in dB. 10 log of D naught is D naught in dB. So using the cross formula, we are getting D naught as 3.964 dB. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I just want to, I'll tell you what is rotational symmetric. Okay, see, we have seen this example. Just 1 second. A pattern like this, B naught cos n theta, okay. Sorry. One second. See, cos n theta. What do you mean by rotational symmetric? U of theta is theta phi is equal to rotational symmetric. Cos n theta. See, the pattern is given. Okay. The pattern is given here. This is the pattern, cos n theta. It is rotational symmetric means whatever phi you wear, keep on wearing phi, the shape of the pattern remains same. Keep on wearing phi, the shape of the pattern remains same. Such patterns are called rotationally symmetric. Any cos to the power of n theta is rotationally symmetric. And for such patterns, theta 1 r and theta 2 r will be same. Theta 1 r, see, you are finding theta 1 r and theta 2 r in two orthogonal planes. Both planes are in the vertical plane. Both these orthogonal planes are in the vertical plane. So cos to the power of n theta is a rotationally symmetric pattern. So theta 1 r and theta 2 r will be same. Okay, and both you have to take theta 1 and 2 in orthogonal planes. One plane is this and another plane is this, and both will be equal. Okay, is it clear? Rotationally symmetric pattern.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, what if we have a sine phi component in u theta phi?
Usually we will not give such type of problems. If it is if sine phi is there, then you find this thing theta 2r will be in the phi, theta is equal to constant plane. That means whatever phi half power beam width you get in the theta is equal to constant plane, that you have to take.
Okay, sir.
For this type of patterns, it is like this. If it is sine phi something is there, then you have to take in the phi plane, other angle. You have to find two planes. One is phi is equal to constant, theta is equal to constant. Two planes you have to take. Here, such a case is not there. In the theta is equal to constant plane, it is a circle, almost like a circle. So that is not acceptable. Okay. So here you have to take in two vertical planes, orthogonal vertical planes.
And sir, one more thing, sir.
Mm.
Sir, when radiation intensity is given like cos theta, sine phi,
Mm.
cos theta type, sir, then the pattern is omnidirectional type, right?
No, no. Sin theta is only omnidirectional. Cos
Only.
theta, sin theta, sin phi is not omnidirectional.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, can we go to the. So is it clear, all of you? Can I go to the next slide? Hello, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and 4 o'clock today, you have the assignment 3. And tomorrow at 11 o'clock, 11 a.m., you will have the quiz 3, assignment 1, quiz 3. Okay, I hope all of you got the information.
Yes, sir.
So I'll leave the class by 3:58 or something like that. Okay, today.
Sir, how long is the assignment for?
Assignment is for 1 year, 1 hour. It's half like 40 minutes or 1 hour. You can take go up to 1 hour.
Sir, tomorrow's quiz is it for 5 marks or is it for the 8 marks for the previous assignment and tomorrow's?
It is 10 marks. What we evaluate, then finally it may be converted to some scale. I don't know. We have set the question paper for 10 marks.
So the thing is, we have 2 pending quizzes, sir. That is why we have one for the first assignment and one quiz that was scheduled for this week as well, sir. So that is why we are confused. Like,
No, this is not okay. See, this is had to be done earlier only, but it is got delayed because the portions were not over and we had some holidays. So that's why quiz 3 will be tomorrow and assignment 1 quiz 3, and today will be assignment 3. Assignment 4, which was scheduled to be held tomorrow, will be held some other day.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Is it clear, all of you?
So today's assignment is from 4 to 5.
Yes, assignment is from 4 to 5. I'll leave you at 3:58 or something like that.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
खिचड़ी खाऊंगी असाइनमेंट है अभी भी
रोटी खा लियो एक तो खा लेगी फिर दही इतनी बढ़िया जमी सही है
Any questions? Can I go to the? I'm not able to hear you properly. Somebody is telling something. Okay, can I go to the next slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay, antenna efficiency. Next topic is antenna efficiency. The efficiency of an antenna is dependent on losses due to reflections because of mismatch between the transmission line and antenna. That is on the input side. The efficiency of an antenna is dependent on losses due to reflections because of mismatch between the transmission line and the antenna. Then the conduction and dielectric losses in the antenna. Conduction and dielectric losses. Okay, we'll see that. I'll come to that. See, so here, this is the transmission line. There will be a loss here due to mismatch, impedance mismatch. And within this antenna, there will be some loss. They are called conduction and dielectric losses. So this is the transmission line. Here there will be loss. It's called reflection losses. And conduction losses is basically the I square R loss. It is a metal. The antenna is a metallic conductor, so I square R loss will be there. And dielectric loss will be there. Okay. So 3 types of losses in the antenna. So I'll go to the next slide. See here, it is shown This is the reflection power. So part of the input gets reflected back, returned. So only remaining will get into the antenna. Okay, will form the current in the antenna. So in the antenna, there is conduction loss and dielectric loss. Okay, conduction loss is due to the current flowing in the body, metallic body, and dielectric loss is because of the dielectric material within the antenna. Okay. So reflection loss, conduction loss, and dielectric loss. Each will contribute to an efficiency. Reflection will contribute to ER, reflection efficiency. Conduction loss will contribute to some efficiency, conduction efficiency, and the dielectric loss will contribute to some efficiency, loss of power, loss of efficiency. So ED. So ER, EC, and ED. Three efficiency depends on ER, EC, and ED. ER is due to loss due to reflection. EC is due to loss due to conduction. ED is due to loss due to dielectric loss. Now EC and ED usually combine together. We don't evaluate separately EC and ED. It is combined together. So ER into ECD. ECD is called radiation conduction dielectric efficiency or radiation efficiency. ECD is called radiation efficiency. ER is called reflection efficiency. Now E naught is dependent on ER and ECD. E naught is a total efficiency. E naught is 1 minus tau in square into ECD. So this will contribute to ER, this part. ER. Now what is given? How do we find out tau in? We'll see that magnitude of tau in. So 1 minus tau in square into ECD. This contributes for the reflection loss. Now this contributes for the conduction dielectric loss or radiation efficiency. If you have a transmission line with characteristic impedance ZL, and if you treat this antenna impedance ZL as Zin, antenna input impedance Zin as ZL, then tau in is given by ZL minus ZC, ZL plus ZC. So all of you know this. ZL is nothing but Zin, input impedance of the antenna. Zin minus ZC, Zin plus ZC. Okay. ZC is the characteristic impedance of transmission line. It is like the intrinsic impedance of a media, transmission line. ZC is like intrinsic impedance of free space. If you compare wave propagation in free space, now eta is similar to ZC, ZC is similar to eta. So you can ignore this part, we don't require this. Okay. Tau, this part you can ignore. So ER is 1 minus tau in magnitudes whole square. Tau in is Zin minus. So I'll go to the next slide. Gain. Now we'll come to see gain. Now we have seen directivity. Gain is something similar to directivity. We'll see what is it. We'll see how it is defined. Now P rate. See, P rate if is related to P in input power to the antenna, power input to the antenna into efficiency, because after taking if you remove a loss, whatever all the input power will be radiated. If you remove the loss from the input power, all the power will be radiated. Now P radiated power is EC into ED into P in. P rate is ECD into P in. Okay, conduction dielectric efficiency or radiation efficiency. Radiation efficiency. This is radiation efficiency. P in. This is after the reflection. After the reflection, what gets into the antenna? That is P in. After the reflection, what gets into the antenna is P in, input power. So gain is 4 pi, radiation intensity, total input power a total input power for the transmitting antenna. For the receiving antenna, it is the accepted power. Okay. Radiation, we will not see much about this. Radiation intensity, total input power. So 4 pi u of theta phi by P in. Instead of P rate, we have P in. Instead of P rate, we have P in. Now P rate is ECD into P in. So P in is P rate by ECD. Okay. So G is equal to 4 pi u of theta phi by P rate by ECD is equal to ECD into 4 pi u of theta phi into by P rate. So G is equal to ECD into D. What is D? What is D?
Directivity.
Directive gain. Directive gain, not directivity. Directivity is the maximum value of directive gain. Directivity is D naught. D is directive gain. Okay. So gain is ECD into D. Is it clear? Now P in is after the reflection loss. After the reflection, not before the reflection. P in. In this case, okay. So P rate is ECD into P in plus. P in plus is the input power after reflection. What is P in plus? ER into P in minus. This is before reflection. P in is input power before reflection. P in plus is input power after reflection. So P rate is ECD into P in plus. ECD into ER is equal to P in minus. So there is something missed. ECD is ECD into ER into P in minus. This is not equal to. It is not equal to here. ECD into ER into P in minus. So P rate is E naught into P in minus. Okay, is it understood? Is it understood? There is a mistake here. This should be multiplication. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Can I go to the next slide? So you have to see which one you have to use, whether you have to use this formula or you have to use this formula. If reflection is not given in the problem, then you can use this formula. If reflection is given in the problem, that is reflection loss, mention is there, then you have to use this formula. If he says ignore reflection losses, then you can use this formula. If reflection losses has to be considered, then you can use this formula. If the gain is based, P rate is equal to ECD into P in plus is equal to ECD into P in. P rate is ECD into P in. So P in by here, what he means is after the reflection loss. P in after the reflection loss. If just PCD into P in is given, it means after the reflection loss. G naught is equal to ECD into D naught. ECD is EC into ED, radiation efficiency. EC is conduction efficiency. ED is dielectric efficiency. Can I go to the next slide?
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
Is there a special name for G naught?
Gain, maximum value of gain, like that. There is no special mention. Maximum gain is not mentioned. G naught is maximum gain. Otherwise, it is similar to like G is similar to D. G naught is similar to D naught. G is similar to D and G naught is similar to D naught. If you use D naught for the computation, then you get G naught. Okay. Yeah. G is equal to ECD into D. G naught is equal to ECD into D naught. So 10 log in dB, if you take 10 log into this thing. Because it is power, ratio of power, you have to take 10 log. Okay, radiation intensity is a power, this thing, factor, power term. Okay, 10 log ECD plus 10 log D naught. If however gain is based on P rate is equal to E naught into P in minus, okay, this is if your reflection losses have to be considered. If reflection losses have to be considered, as I told you, E naught into P in minus. Here, P in minus is treated as P in. So P rate is E naught into P in. E naught is overall efficiency comprising of ER, EC and ED. Understood? Hello? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Absolute gain. So this is same thing. Now, so absolute gain, it is like this. Considering ER is taken into picture here. Okay, there's nothing special about it. Okay. Now here is a problem. Zin is given to be 73 ohms, ZC 50 ohms, lossless antenna. If it is said that lossless antenna, ECD is 1. Okay. If it is mentioned that it is a lossless antenna, ECD you have to take it as 1. So pattern is given, U is equal to B naught sine cube theta. Find D naught and G naught. So you don't have to do it now. So this is a problem, but the problem statement is not mentioned here in this slide. Zin is the input impedance of the antenna, 73 ohms. ZC is 50 ohms. It is lossless antenna. So ECD is equal to 1. Pattern is given, U is equal to B naught sine cube theta. So first find D naught. D naught using the equation. D naught is equal to 4 pi U max by P rate. So what is G naught? G naught is equal to E naught into D naught. Why E naught has been used here is because he has given the impedance of the transmission line, input impedance of the antenna. So you have to use this E naught. E naught into, so U max, you get it as B naught. And after finding, so you find P rate, okay, P rate, you get this the value. So D naught is U max by this thing, you get it as 1.697. Can I go to the next slide? Is it everything clear?
Yes.
Okay, next page. So G naught is equal to ECD. ECD, because it is a lossless antenna, it is 1. So reflection loss is not actually antenna loss. Okay, ECD is actually the antenna loss, contributes for the antenna loss. Okay. Reflection loss is due to mismatch. It is because of the feed and antenna mismatch. Okay. So here you get this value, then you find out G naught. This is not the absolute value of gain. So because it is ECD into D naught. So ER you find out tau in, ER is this much. So E naught is ER into ECD is this much. E naught in dB is 10 log. Okay, what is this? So you know this. So follow till the last line. Have you got it? So you are basically multiplying by E naught. E naught is ER. E naught is nothing but ER because ECD is 1. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll go to the next slide. If you want me to explain, you have to interrupt me and tell me. Beam efficiency. So when the loss is there in the picture, we have something known as efficiency and bandwidth next. Okay. Okay, this is a okay. Okay, beam efficiency, this is something different. Okay, sorry. So we have, see, you have this is the radiation pattern. He has taken a cone of angle theta 1. See angle theta 1 on either side, theta 1. Okay, this is a cone. Okay, he wants to find out the fraction of the total power within this cone. This is the radiation pattern. So if you completely enclose, if you consider a sphere completely enclosing the antenna, you will get total power. If you want to find the portion of the power within this cone, then you have to integrate 0 to 2 pi, 0 to theta 1, u of theta phi, sin theta d theta d phi. And in the denominator, this gives the total radiated power. This gives the power within that cone theta of angle theta 1. This gives the power within that. It is not a cone exactly. Okay, within that angle theta 1. So this is the power within that angle theta 1, and this is the total power. So beam efficiency, how do we define that? Power transmitted received within a cone angle theta 1 divided by power transmitted received by the antenna. It can be used for transmitter as well as receiver. For the transmitting antenna, it is a transmitted power. For the receiving antenna, it is a received power. Okay. So now if you want to find out if the total power in the percentage of the total power in the main lobe, how will you do it? Percentage of total power in the main lobe.
Sir?
Yeah.
We will, in the numerator for beam efficiency, we will integrate theta from 0 to theta first null beam width.
Very good. Yes. First null beam width.
Multiply by 100.
Yes, yes. So this angle basically, the first null beam width, first null point is here. This point. Okay. So theta 1 will be the first null, the angle of first null. Theta, instead of theta 1, you have to use the angle of first null. Then you will get the total, the fraction of the total power in the main lobe. Main lobe is this fraction of the total power in the main lobe. Is it clear? Can I go to the next slide? Beam, it is called beam efficiency.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Regarding explanation and other things, the explanation of this, you have to go to the textbook. Because I am not giving notes as such, anything like notes. So we'll just skip this. Next, polarization. I'm not going to go in detail of this polarization because you have studied in EMW polarization. Okay. Now, suppose we have, let us say, one second. Let us say we have a wire antenna. We have a straight wire antenna like this. Okay. Now let us say it is oriented along the z-axis. This is the z-axis. For example, this is the z-axis. Okay. Now, if the electric line falling on the antenna is also in the along the same direction, that is along the z-axis. These are the electric field lines. Okay, these are the electric field lines. Okay, like this. They are also oriented along the z-axis. Then this electric field induces a voltage in the receiving antenna. Electric field falling on the antenna induces a voltage. And what is the relation between voltage and electric field? V is equal to
ED.
Yeah, E into length. E into L. Something like that. Okay. Voltage induced will be proportional to electric field and length. Now this is the case when they are parallel to each other. Now if the electric field falls at an angle, let us say it is making an angle, it is like this, slanted. Do you think same V will be induced in the antenna terminals? If E makes an angle with the now z-axis, the polarization of the antenna is along the z-axis because the antenna is oriented along the z-axis. The polarization of the antenna in this case, so the L is polarized along the z-axis. Polarization of the antenna is along the z-axis. Polarization of the electric field, in the former case it was also in the z-axis. In this case it is making an angle with it is in the xy direction, some x, some y, like that. Okay, so it will not induce full power like E into L, magnitude of E into magnitude of L. So that's why sometimes you don't get very good power in the receiver terminals, because why? Alignment problem. If the electric field is totally perpendicular like this, okay, will it induce any voltage? If electric field and the antenna polarization, the wave polarization and antenna polarization, this is the wave polarization. Wave is in this direction. So, okay, so perpendicular to the antenna polarization, there will be no EMF induced, the voltage induced in the antenna terminals. Okay, so in that case, it will be zero. Have you got it? Have you got it? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if it makes an angle phi, the loss factor will be proportional to cos phi. The loss factor due to polarization mismatch will be equal to will be proportional to cos phi. If the angle between antenna polarization and wave polarization, this is wave polarization and antenna polarization, if it makes an angle phi, then the loss factor depends on cos phi. When phi is 90 degrees, the loss factor is maximum. There is fully there is no the full loss, 100% loss, because it does not induce any voltage if it makes an angle 90 degrees. So loss factor is dependent on cos phi. If phi is 0, there will be no loss due to polarization mismatch. If phi is 0, there will be no loss due to polarization mismatch. If phi is 90 degrees, there will be loss due to polarization mismatch. So another 5-6 minutes, after that I will stop, because you have to get ready for the. Okay, now have you understood why there will be a loss due to polarization mismatch?
Yes.
Yeah, and that you also appreciate that loss is proportional to cos phi. You can understand that, right? I hope you can understand. Because electric field, see, you can resolve it into two components. Suppose this is the electric field. You can resolve it into two components. One normal to the antenna, one parallel to the antenna. So this only this part which is normal does not contribute. This part which is parallel to the antenna will contribute. any electric field making an angle with the antenna, so it can be resolved. Electric field can be resolved into two perpendicular plane. Can be split into two perpendicular vectors. One parallel to the parallel to the surface. One normal to the surface. So the normal parallel one only will induce voltage. The normal component will not contribute. Okay. So and so it is dependent on cos phi. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now see, you can see a wave propagating, and this rotation of the, you can see the rotation of the wave. Okay. Let us see what is mentioned in the next slide. The electric field line, see, you can, as time passes, the electric field, direction of the electric field keeps on changing. And if you keep the distance factor, okay, well, let's see the next slide. Okay. So, 1 second. Okay. So if you keep the Z constant, you will get you can get a circular polarization or elliptical polarization. If you keep the time Z constant or the distance factor constant, okay, with respect to time, the tip of the electric field will trace an ellipse or a circle, or it can be just a line, or it can be along a line. Okay, so we can have linear polarization, circular polarization, and elliptical polarization. I am not going to go into much details of this because it is not required for you. You have already studied linear polarization, circular elliptical polarization in EMW. So okay, we will. So this is a right circular polarization, left circular polarization. There are two things. So okay. So here polarization, there is linear polarization, circular, in that there are two types. Clockwise, right, and counterclockwise. Okay, and elliptical also clockwise and counterclockwise. Okay, I'm not going to go much details of this because not required for you. Will be otherwise our focus will be different from the required this thing. So now this I think it's not required. Electric field, if it has a X component and a Y component, okay. Sorry, sir. Wait. This is not required for you. Wait, just let me see. See, circular polarization here it's given. When do you get circular polarization? When Ex naught is equal to Ey naught is equal to Exy naught is equal to Ey naught, you get circular polarization. Delta phi is equal to pi by 2. Okay, that means the phase difference between Ex and Ey, if it is 90 degrees and Ex and Ey amplitudes are equal, you get circular polarization. Okay, circular clockwise polarization. You see what happens? The electric field, tip of the electric field moves in this direction. You see, tip of the electric. When does this happen? When the X component and the Y component magnitudes are equal. Okay, and the phase difference between the X component and Y component is 90 degrees. If Ex naught is equal to not equal to Ey naught, then you get elliptical polarization. So I am not going to much details of this because it's not required for you. Okay, I hope you have understood what is polarization basically. Have you understood line polarization? Suppose if electric field is along the line X direction, it is called X polarization. If there is a Ex, if there is a Ey, and have same phase. That means when Ex is 0, Ey is also 0. And when Ex is maximum, Ey is also maximum. When Ex and Ey are in the same phase, then the resultant will be vector addition of Ex and Ey. You will get a like this, line like this. Okay. And the electric field, tip of the electric field, instantaneous value of the electric field will lie on this line. Okay, that is called linear polarization. If there is only X component, then also it is linear polarization, X direction, polarized, X polarized. If there is only Y component, then the electric field will be like this, in the Y direction. Then the electric field, the instantaneous value will move from this, on this line, okay, from positive to negative. If there is only X component, sorry, this is where if there is a X component. If there is a Y component, then it will just move up and down along the Y direction. So that is called, in a line. Okay. Yes. Yes. What is that? Tell me. Hello. 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 Okay, I will stop here now. Tomorrow we will continue. Get ready for the assignment. Can I stop here now? Hello.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir. So have you understood what is line polarization, linear polarization, what is circular polarization, what is elliptical polarization? Yes, to some extent, you may not have understood it in detail, but have you got some idea about linear polarization, circular polarization, elliptical polarization, like that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So electric field, if it is line polarization, electric field will lie on a single line. On a circular means it will, the electric field vector will trace the amplitude, will trace a circle, amplitude of the electric field. That means when does it happen? When Ex naught is equal to Ey naught, and delta phi, that is phase between the electric field X component and Y component, makes an angle 90 degrees. If it is minus 90 degrees, you will get one type of polarization. So one will be counterclockwise, one is clockwise. So if it is plus 90, it may give clockwise. If it is minus 90, it may give counterclockwise. Okay. So that means rotation will be like this. Counterclockwise means. Clockwise means rotation will be like this. Clockwise direction. Elliptical will happen when Ex naught and Ey naught will not be same. In that case, it has to be like an ellipse. Okay, is this much clear? I am not explained in detail. I know that because it is out of focus. Simply, they are wasting time. More than this is not required for you, for your antennas. Is it understood?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, then we will leave for today. We'll exit. Any questions? Quick questions. I'll take attendance. 1 second. Give me time to take attendance. 1 second. Attendance. Okay. Now you can go ahead with the assignment. Is it okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
So I'll be. So you can, if there is any doubt, you can raise. You can call me. My number, all of you know. So I don't think there is any mistake in the question paper. So you can just follow it. Tomorrow I will be sending the question paper to the CRs. Okay. Because there could be some mistakes in the question paper you get on the online. You can see I'll send the Word file to the CR, and he can just PDF file, basically PDF file to the CR, and he will give it to you, all of you. C and D sections, basically. Okay.
So then how will submit the answer?
Answer you can submit like what you have done last time for assignment 2. Upload the file.
No, sir. For tomorrow, sir, you told you'll be sending the question to the CR, sir.
Yeah. Answer you can do on the site online. Okay. Answer you can do, that will be right. But questions, there can be some mistakes in that. Okay. So you follow what CR sends to you. I will send it to the CR. C and D sections, basically, I'm telling. Because I have. Okay. Right.
Thank you, sir.